I noticed in the last video, I moved a little too much and everything was kind of shaky. Sorry about that. It's a wobbly director's chair that I'm in. I don't know why I keep using a director's chair. You can't see that it's a director's chair. It's mostly blocked by me. My director's chair is in my basement. It was a gift from my mother-in-law, who is very encouraging for me with doing the directing and stuff, and I appreciate that. I hardly ever direct from a director's chair. It's more of a thing that's, you know, cool for me to have in my studio. But so, today, I'm going to talk to you about this light right here. We're going to talk about how to fix things that have been allowed to have a battery corrode in them. The back just fell off of this. I was going to show you at work, but I don't have any batteries in. But here's what happened. So you guys on the lighting video saw me take this out of the case. And I did mention that it had been in there a long time, and I hadn't seen it in a long time. And you can almost tell from the box how, you know, antiquated it is. And it's a fluorescent light, not LED. I mean, it gives you an idea. I believe it's at least 30 years old. So I took the batteries out, and sure enough, one of them had popped open at least. I think two of them were stuck together. And there was a bit of corrosion in there, and the corrosion is on the deep end. And so it looks pretty well closed up in there. But normally the way to fix something like that would be to get a very long Q-tip and some vinegar and try and wipe that corrosion off. And at first, when I put the batteries in, it didn't turn on. I just kind of figured, you know, it's dead. It's somewhere in the realm of 30 years old, 30 to 35 years old, and it's not working. And let's face it, I could probably replace it for about $8 with a more up-to-date one with LEDs and whatever. And you know, there's a very good chance that this bulb was dead also, right? But for those of you who are too young to know, there used to be this thing, you know, where people would order from catalogs, especially older people, people who didn't get out to shop much and stuff like that, or people who liked unusual things. It was kind of like Amazon and you know, eBay were in the old days, where you'd go in there and find something unusual or find a bargain, and you know, so catalog shopping was a thing. They'd send you these catalogs in the mail. You'd look through them. You'd order stuff through mail order. What was it, 4 to 6 weeks is what they used to say, right? Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for your delivery. 4 to 6 weeks later, stuff would arrive. And apparently, to get you to order a certain amount of stuff. So like now they have Prime, where they have the order, you know, your order ships free if you order at least $35 worth of eligible goods. What they used to do back then was send you little gifts, right? And normally they were pretty cheesy little things, or stuff that they got a whole bunch of really cheap so that they could give them away, but and usually fairly small, because they had to ship this for free then, right? I don't know if they used to charge extra shipping for them. I honestly don't remember now. On TV they do now, but back then I think they used to ship that free, you know, as part of your order. And you know, so they would send this stuff. And my grandpa Frank was a big catalog shopper in the later years of his life. He, you know, in the Bronx, it was a big thing to have one of your in-laws at least live with you. It was a way that, you know, people got by. And my grandpa lived with us, and he would order stuff from catalogs. And when he would get something mechanical or that lights up or like a tool or whatever as his gift, I would normally get it. And I've still got some of the tools and stuff, and they're in some of my kits. They lay around. And this is why I'm guessing it was at least 30 years old, because, you know, by the time I went away to college, this kind of gift giving sort of stopped. But this was, I believe, one of the things he got, and he gave it to me. And I do make an effort to keep this stuff and to use it. And so when this wasn't working, it kind of, you know, I wanted to fix it. Even though I could replace it more cheaply, I wanted to repair it. I wanted to keep it going if in any way I possibly could. I was going to try testing the bulb before I got rid of it. And I was just about to. I replaced the batteries, and I couldn't get the plastic off to replace the bulb. And I was just about, you know, I was going through the thing with my wife. You know, my grandpa would be the first one to tell me, get rid of something. If it's no good, you don't hold on to it. You know, sentimental value doesn't have any place with tools and stuff like that, right? But so let me give it one more try. I was going to try and clean it with aluminum foil. Okay, because what you could do is scrape on that metal a little bit. But the problem is, with it being the part that's so deep, I would have to get this really, really tight and twisted and get in there. So the next thing I tried, and I had fixed something like this before, but not because of a corrosion problem. A contact was just missing from something I bought. The next thing I tried was taking a piece of aluminum foil and ripping a small piece off, folding it a couple of ways, you know, boom, boom, and shoving it under the battery. And what this did, it actually, you can't see in there because it's so deep, but it actually touches the contact point and the battery, and it gives it more of a surface to find non-corroded places of the contact point. At least that's part of my guess. And the other thing is, on this one, it taps the final end, so the battery circuit goes this way, right? It touches the other side. So it completes the circuit between the batteries. Now, I would not try this on an expensive, sensitive piece of equipment. Okay, you don't want to risk shorting anything out. This was already gone for this world. I thought it was worth a shot. I also think in the field, if you have a small flashlight or if you have an inexpensive piece of equipment that's not working, and you absolutely positively need to get something working, and you reach for it, and we should take batteries out before we put stuff away, but we always think we're going to work tomorrow, right? We always think we're going to use it again, and sometimes we leave batteries in. If you reach for something that has a corroded battery in there, if you get your hands on some aluminum foil, it's a way to go, right? It'll get you through the day. And just to test the theory again, today I was using the remote control for the TV in my exercise room, and the TV in my exercise room does not have cable. Okay, it doesn't have Roku, it doesn't have anything fancy on it. It's an old CRT TV. Shows you how much I exercise, right? I watch TV when I exercise is even less important. And matter of fact, the only reason the TV's in there is it also is our guest room. Our guest bed's in there, and my exercise bike's in there. So the remote wouldn't work. And I changed the batteries, it still wouldn't work. And I looked in, and sure enough, I could see that little bit of rust in there. And I said, hey, let me try this. I put the aluminum foil in, boom, worked. So it's 3 times tested by me, has worked every time, is not necessarily a permanent solution because the first thing I did with it stopped working after a few months. And not a great solution for things you might be afraid of, getting the exact wrong amount of power through. Some things really have a power requirement that is specific. So sensitive pieces of equipment, expensive pieces of equipment, don't mess with them. Don't do this to fix a camera. Don't do this to, bridge things in your sound recorder. That $25 microphone you bought, 6 years ago at a Radio Shack when it was still around, that might be a place you can use it if you left batteries in there when you bought it. But there you go. Or just something you have for sentimental value and you can't figure out how to get rid of it. How to keep it, and you can't bring yourself to get rid of it. For the vinegar Q-tip cleaning, look up on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of videos on it. The main thing you have to be careful of when you try to get the corrosion off of that is that none of the liquid gets into the electrical piece that you're cleaning. So it's got to be almost dry, just that little bit wet, and it takes a long time. So if it's not something worth replacing, if it doesn't have any sentimental value, you may not want to do it. All right. So that's today's video, guys. I'll be back really quick, actually. And I'm wearing the gray shirt again because this is where the blue screen went bad, was on a gray shirt. And I want to see if we fixed it or it was just changing the color of my shirts.